Hello and welcome back to the game.
Welcome back, everybody.
This is Championship Golf.
I'm joined by Jacob and Lucas again.
How wonderful.
We'll send you
Stanley
back
was
in.
alone.
Nah, don't
Finally.
worry about it.
This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
I did.
Indeed.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I don't even know what you're singing there, but go for it.
Excellent.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Rest in peace, Franz.
Franz.
Weekly target. Blah blah blah.
Termination Tuesdays.
Termination Tuesdays? Where do you see that?
Right there in the second.
We're broke Wednesdays.
Mergers.
Financial panic, Nina. Office efficiency.
Office party!
What to do about 432? Don't tell 432 about the meeting. Free review of weekly review. This box is too small. Okay, that's about it. So, that one. Push through from the
Get Chris out of the
new
room
coffee
closet.
machine. Get Chris out of the room. Hire someone to synergize papers. Synergize papers. Papers too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of...
Censored or something.
Yes. The future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now.
Right, Jacob?
Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished
He's still
agenda items. Write next day's agenda reflection. 417, 405, 491, 416, 431, Jim.
This is a very interesting office we have here.
I love my coworkers. They seem like very interesting people.
Indeed.
We need reviews. More reviews.
Work harder, hard worker.
Want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net? Same sort of child trait? Some sort of child trait? Work harder, hard work. Teenagers.
A lot of percent.
A lot of percent. Space between teenagers. Throw
Throw
something in the idea bin. No more bins, trash cans. Remaining of the ideas on firing of me. Idea bin. What do people want? Things. Mike James, you are fired. Happy feelings, money, more money, things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs about things and money. We have our new product. The stock market is somewhere here, colored in segment. Stripes required more secondary research. Target demographic teenagers. What is
I don't think they ever
profits.
I don't think they ever intended for people to actually walk around this room.
Oh, I've actually read everything.
Number of slides in this slide. Slides compared to charts and slides.
Oh god.
Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. rate of increase in graphs per slide.
This is sure an interesting room, huh, Lucas?
The boss appreciation. On your boss's appreciation minute worksheet, circle the top 20
Oh boy!
most about your boss, fill out in triplicate and return to your boss. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more inclined toward conflict unless you're the kind of person you should know. Your dreams of the future. Nature transcends success, logic, and life football charts. Mitosis. Mitosis.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
Oh boy, you caught on to your ass.
Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text.
We're good. This room is...
Synergize core value expenditures to shift to global market paradigm. Monetize free to play.
Dun dun dun. Okay, you're good.
No.
There's nothing else in this room. There's
a
nothing
map
else.
And a chart and a graph. Stop. Classification.
Okay.
Fine, you win. Broom closet.
Are you kidding?
No, he needs this one.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got
Are
back
you
on
kidding?
track.
There's tape here. My best
There was
friend.
nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
All hail the broom.
Oh god.
All hail
It
the
was
broom.
baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Fuck off.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I'm
Yeah.
worshipping my new god.
Have fun.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Except the
I never
fact
would have
he's
thought to mention it.
saying so much about it.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." Your friends
I
find
love
this
the
concerning.
XP.
I know.
I hope your friends find this concerning.
Yes, we
Stanley
do.
was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley's addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. In a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead.
We should probably take
He
the
or she
controls away
has
from
fallen
him.
prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. Alright, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I think you're done in this closet here, Lucas.
Ah, second player. It's good. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. If there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. Fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Fight the power.
I
I don't think it has the same effect. That's not a fire hose, that's a box!
But Stanley
It's a
just
DeLorean.
couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Well, quite
All of my
obviously, I
co-workers
stood in the
blinking
closet for like 10
mysteriously
minutes.
out of existence
But there's
at a
nothing
single
to do with you
moment
being crazy.
for
No,
reason
not at all.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be
You're
real.
way too
But at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he
It is
thought.
whatever time.
And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
No, it won't.
I am okay.
You'll be fine. Just kidding.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
KO.
Yay!
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
No, you don't.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Congrats, Lucas. You've gotten some really shitty ending
One of the
there.
more depressing endings.
Yeah, congrats. That's all the time we have for this episode, folks. We'll see you next time, I guess. Bye-bye.
I want the ending where I become God.
You too.